Hey everyone, CCC Genesis here. I'm going to give you a deck profile on Flute. Just a quick notice. So I am having a couple of proxies here, and then you're going to see different color sleeves because I'm sharing between decks. And then you're going to see proxies because I actually just don't have the cards. I didn't pull them out of the box. Some of them are a little bit more expensive for what I can buy right now, and I can't really afford them. So excuse me for sort of being unprofessional here. So, Flute is the new blue ruler from Echoes of the New World. Just a simple 1 blue energy to Judgment. She gives you a blue energize, and then she's able to tap herself to draw a card, which is the main gimmick of the deck, that you want to abuse her extra draw effect to gain more card advantage than your opponent. When she's Judgment, her enter skill is to get back everything that was sent to the all the resonators that are sent to the grave this turn back into your hand, which could be very useful if you get board wipe the same turn, I guess. Which is, or if you do simple trades, and then you get added back to your hand. Like let's say you trade an Abdul in, deactivate, bring back an Abdul, basically. She releases all your seals for water abilities, cards and abilities, and then you're able to bring her back into the ruler zone by paying a blue into colorless. We're not really using her for this side though. I mean, you can. It's basically the whole Valentina situation over again, where I like to use the ruler side. But this particular deck does not have any real seal cards besides the Water Dragon. And even then, the Water Dragons, this could be used there to help you draw more cards. So we're going to go on with the deck profile right now. For Water Dragons, Flute's Little Water Dragon. This card right here is very interesting, giving a lot more potential to tap effect rulers in general. Since this is now able to replace a ruler to tap for stone, you can use her to draw a card, or you're able to actually activate into her turn 1 if you would. Well, turn 1 if you're going second, turn 2 if you're going first. Which is a very interesting concept. I actually like that a lot, because it gives you a very versatile playstyle with Flute, saying that you can activate into her and activate all steal effects very early in the game. Or you're able to out-resource your opponent because you have this attack for stone and you're able to draw 2 cards a turn basically. Or draw during your opponent's turn to get like an answer, like a space-time anomaly, black moonbeam, etc. Sorry if I'm not really sounding so good. I'm not feeling so well today either, but I just needed to get something recorded today, because I haven't recorded anything in a while. For Abdul is a very strong resonator in this format, and probably will be one of the strongest 2-drops in the game. Enter skills are extremely powerful. They are the most powerful type of abilities in the game, because when they are on play, do something. So like in Hearthstone, they have a battle cry effect. They already did their job. But with Abdul being on there, the enter effects have no value. They're basically a body until you get rid of the Abdul, which is sort of really hard to do unless you're playing hard removal cards. Because you never had to attack with Abdul. You could slowly kill your opponent without hitting them with Abdul. Fox has to main deck like 5 outs in order to win against the Abdul. If they don't have an out to Abdul, they basically lose the game, because their Griffins are vanillas. All their Chimeras are basically vanillas, and they rely on Griffin heavily in order to stabilize their game state. One Resort. Again, Resort is a very niche card, being able to get rid of certain cards that we don't want to see in our opponent's graveyard, which is why mainly he's a one-of. He could also be a late game beat stick too, if you want to just exile your entire discard, or if your discard's getting exiled. Bleh. I wish I could talk today. Oh yeah. You can pay 200 life to remove target card in graveyard. So you can remove the killing zones from QB. You can remove space-time anomalies when they're tapped out. You can remove targets for like the new Lumia Resonator, Valentina Resonator. And if they're playing Lumia Reanimator, you just drop this down and say, go ahead. Where's your targets now? And that's pretty much it. Next up, we play. Let me get this order in. Mana cost 3 Gilapis. I don't have a 3rd Gilapis. I'm sorry, guys. I only got 2. The rest of. We split a case for the team, obviously, as you've seen. I didn't have priority on Will of Spares. I took priority on Will of Hopes because I actually like the White Book playstyle and everything. And I think White Book's very fun to play. But other than that, so when Galapis enters the field, he searches a 1-drop chant, 1-drop dark or white chant. So you're able to search out Scorner, Dark Alice, Soul Hunt, Final Battle, Nameless Mist, Soul Hunt. I think I said Soul Hunt already, but I'm not quite sure. Etc. When they decide to make more 1-drop, really broken 1-drop spells for black or white. White basically has right now Dream of Juliet. Not Dream of Juliet. Dream of Flight. There we go. They have some other ones, but that's the real good one I can remember off the top of my head right now. It also has Precision, which is a very strong keyword. Being able to being able to choose what you want to attack into, besides having to hope your opponent blocks with something. And then he gets +1/+1 for every Will of Despair you control. That's not the relevant text to this one, but it's still nice to have if you have multiple Galapases or like the Resonator in the field. The nice buff is the little buff is nice to have. Next, we go on to basically the boss monster deck, Charlotte. Charlotte relies basically on your hand with Flute that you will always have a little bit more card advantage than your opponent, especially with how many discard effects that we have in the deck. She gets +2/+2 for every card in your hand, and when she enters the field, she draws a card. So she automatically replaces herself, and she gets stronger. She also has barrier to X amount of cards in your hand. Let's say if you have 5 cards in your hand, she's immune to 5 drops or less. So she's already immune to Captain Hook, Priscia, what else? What other relevant 5 drops are there? Not really. Yeah, there's not really any more relevant 5 drops after that. I think the camera keeps tilting itself. Well, that's it for the Resonators. For spells, Scorn of Dark Alice is a 3-of. Looking at your opponent's hand to get rid of Resonators is a really key component to their game strategy. So you want to slow them down. You basically just want to slow them down because your win condition in this game is Schrodinger's observation. You want to slow them down to the point where you get Schrodinger's observation for lethal, maybe up to 2 or 3 times a game in cases in certain scenarios. So being able to look at a card, they're able to get rid of like hooks, early game mana dorks that you don't want to have your opponent having. It's very nice to have. Malfeas are really nice to get rid of as well. Everything that slows down your opponent helps you slow down your opponent, basically. Then, in the same scenario, we would play 2 Nameless Mist. Nameless Mist could probably be seen as a more of now, in my opinion. It's how slow and spell-based the game really is getting to go to. Right, at least as of right now. With how spell heavy it is, at least in my meta it is, in my local meta. Because everyone's playing this everyone's, they all have removal spells for me, so I would probably consider moving up Nameless Mist more than Scorn, so at least it's 3 to 4 of. Also, it gives a +1/+1 counter to Resonator control. Most likely not going to happen if you're doing it turn 1, but it's a nice buff. Next, 3 Heteroclite Excalibur. Alright, move it aside. Remove target Resonator from the game, you lose 500 life. This card is honestly insane. It's a better story to death. You can kill yourself with the card though. Don't forget about that though. It's hilarious though. It's hilarious that you can actually kill yourself with the card. But yeah, this card is insane, removing big threats for a very cheap amount of mana. It's very, in my opinion, it's a lot better than Stony Death. I will always still consider Stony Death probably one of the best removal spells in the game. Next to Flames of Outer World. Welcome to the new best removal spell in the game, my friend. That's pretty much it. It's just spot removal, cheap, efficient spot removal. Very welcome in the game. Next we have the one in the final battle, the Searchable. This is an AoE board wipe that is needed for most control decks, especially when problematic cards such as Charlotte and Melium can basically kill your game plan because you can no longer remove the Resonators or any other Resonators on the field. It's hard for control decks to remove cards that protect everything else without AoE. And AoE effects in this game are extremely expensive. So the fact that we have a final battle is very nice. That we're able to pay X amount and pay with our lives. So we could technically just use 1 mana and pay X amount of life. So we're able to do something else to follow up with the turn. And also the fact that it's until the end of turn. So if you're able to get this quick cast with like Blue Planet and castle on your opponent's turn, they can no longer play anything on their field, which is really nice. Next, we play for Space Time Anomaly. I don't have to go over myself on this card. This card is insane for a common card. It is -5/-5, quick cast Remnant, draw a card. You're able to use it 8 times a game if you are playing 4 copies of the card. I cannot keep saying how broken this card is and how much I love this card and how much I am going to miss it after rotation. Next is 3 Dawn of the Earth. This card, in my opinion, is probably the best card in this set. Not Severin Winds, but Dawn of the Earth. Dawn of the Earth is always a replacement effect. It will always draw you a card, while also giving you the versatility of certain scenarios. The first mode is basically what you're going to be using the most. The third mode is the one that you're going to be using the least, unless you're playing in under a format where everyone's going to be playing Regalias, because Regalias are still broken. But mainly you're going to be using the first effect because of rulers like Fox, rulers like Lumia, Book of White, Book of Darkness, even though you're probably not going to see those in the competitive scene. I would still play him, because I love Book of White too much not to play. It's a really fun deck. You're able to give your Resonator +2/+2 and barrier restanding it as well. So you're able to give Lapis swing at target Resonator. Alright. Target Resonator dies. Restand it. Give it bear, and then try to kill it. Restand it, give it barrier. That Resonator still dies unless they can still declare a block, obviously. But now the Lapis is freestanding and has barrier with +2/+2, so you're able to kill something again, which is extremely nice. This card is insane for a 2-drop. It has 3 modes. It was basically the Zeke's of this set. Zeke's is a little bit more broken in my opinion than Dawn of the Earth, but Dawn of the Earth, its first mode is basically better than Zeke's in total. Next we play 3 Lapis' Darkstorm. Delinquent Duo is a powerful card in Yu-Gi-Oh, so why would it not be powerful in Force of Will, right? Always making your opponent have less advantage as you is really prominent in this deck because you want to slow down your opponent. I can't stress this enough in this type of deck style, in this type of gameplay style for this deck, that you want to slow down your opponent and then start your observation for lethal. Speaking of which, our win con, Schrödinger Observation. 1 white, 1 black, X. two modes. First mode is to deal to target Resonator, deals 400 damage, you gain that much damage in life. Second mode is deal 300 damage to opponent for X. You gain that much life. So you basically want to kill your opponent within 2 turns of using this card, basically. So you want to do Schrodinger's Observation for 1 turn, Schrodinger's Observation another turn, or you just basically want to stall until you draw another Schrodinger's Observation. Simple as that. Next we play 3 Severing Winds. Severing Winds is a very strong card in this set. I know the mixed feelings that people have about Severing Winds and how strong of a card it is, but it's not comparable to Force of Will and Magic the Gathering. You're able to easily play around Severing Winds, unlike Force of Will. Force of Will, for those who don't know or aren't Magic players, or Legacy Magic players, mind you, is a blue chant, I believe 3 mana, 1 blue, 2 colorless, I don't remember, but you can pay 2 life, discard a card, activate the spell without paying its mana cost, negate target spell. You're able to use it as a free negate anytime, even negating the first play. Severing Winds is very playable, easily to play around, because the first card you can legitimately play 1 card that you don't want negated, and then play a card that you sort of want to go off, but is threatening enough that your opponent needs to negate in order to sustain their game state, or in order to be able to play the game. And there are also cards that still cannot be resolved in the chase, so they can't be negated, like Flames of Outer World, Black Moonbeam. There's even cards that can't be negated, like Ahamas Black Lightning. So, there's my take on Severing Winds. Severing Winds is a less powerful version of Force of Will. Don't get me wrong, it's still an extremely strong card. I know at this point I should stop comparing cards to Magic the Gathering, even though Force of Will is an extremely and heavily inspired game from Magic the Gathering. But the thing is, Severing Winds itself is not a card. It's a card. It's a very strong card. But it's not a card that you cannot play around that. It's a card that you can definitely play around. I'm sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a card that you can play around. For the stones, I should have organized these, but it's going to be 4 Dark Depths, 2 Remains of Atarantica, or the counter stone and from Vingoff 3, and 4 Heaven's Rift. You are playing a black, blue, white deck, so these are usually the more optimal stones. If you don't want to lose more life than you already are losing it in this deck because you're playing cards like Final Battle and Rezard, you can opt to switch them out for the counter stones that came out in Bingo 3, and then obviously you're playing the 4 Dark Depths because you want the most maximum color consistency that you can possibly get. So that's all for deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked my little sub lecture on Force of Will on Severing Winds versus Force of Will, and how easily it can be played around. It's a hard card, the hard cast, because it costs 4 mana to do so. But, you know, I think Severing Winds is a very fair card. I honestly think it's a very fair card. It's easy to play around, and honestly, there's so many cards that have instant speed that you can use on your opponent's turn to force them to negate on their turn. There are so many cards that you can force to get rid of cards in their hand that Severing Winds can be a card in this game. So that's all, guys. I hope you have a great day.